This is Peggy Childers. That's the name I have to use, Peggy Dempsey Childers. My real name is Margaret Ann Windsor, and I put up here for so long trying to get my name back, and the crimes, uh, well, stopped. They're ongoing. So anyway, I was kidnapped in 41 and brought to Moulton, Alabama, given the name of a twin, Peggy Ann Dempsey. I married to Childers. Both twins, Carl and Peggy, were dead. They were killed by their mother. So it's who I am. I'm the daughter, the legal daughter of, and the only daughter or child that I know of King Edward VIII, who never married Wallace Simpson. He married Claudia Ruth O'Keeffe, sister to artist Georgia O'Keeffe. There was a forced abdication, and I don't think it had anything to do with Wallace Simpson. They invented that. The Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers, my own Uncle George, the father of illegal Elizabeth, he's illegal, she is. The Kennedys helped bring down my father. And then when I was born, they kidnapped me and brought me over to Moulton, Alabama. Wallace Simpson married a double, an imposter, in 1937. My father was married to my mom, a beautiful lady, a school teacher, who my grandmother and some of the others felt was a commoner. But that's not it. This was so well orchestrated by the Freemasons, the Illuminati, the Jews, and the Kennedys, and part of my own family who are Freemasons, and part of the Illuminati. Now I want to get to this. I found out about my kidnapping in 1983 after I'd written a medical malpractice book and tried to get it published. It was about Congressman Dr. Larry McDonald was just one of the subjects in it. And I'm going to say this because everybody knows Larry Flint was shot in Lawrenceville. At the same time I was doing the book is the timing, March the 6th of 1978. He was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia. His attorney killed. Now, mind control was used in that, and I was writing about mind control murders done in patterns back then and could be proven. And they've been ongoing. Just like the letter from the FBI that I got, it's an ongoing investigation, national security involved. So anyway, now I'm going to fast forward to after being flown out to Flint's in the campaign to replace the Dr. Congressman that I had written about. The plane he was on was shot down by the Russian MiG. It flew into their airspace, and there again is where mind control can come in. They can program a pilot without his knowledge. All this is done without knowledge. Mind control is, and programming, and it made him fly into Russian airspace, and he was shot down. The plane, passenger plane, 250 plus died, and Larry McDonald was supposed to be on it. Now I want to get to where I am now. I've had so many crimes, near death almost killed me. I want to get to this. So in 1986, I came here to Roanoke, and I couldn't get jobs anymore. I came here in October of 1986, the 20th. I lived on the Appalachian Trail. I froze, I starved, I begged, I pleaded just to get me off the side of the road from one town to the other, to keep me from getting raped or killed. I literally got shut down. And I wanted to say this. I've told over and over about how I have an immune disorder. And believe me, this isn't funny. If I'm around toxic fumes, I'm allergic to chemicals, especially remodeling, or anything to do with like trains, the stuff it goes into making, associated with train stuff. I guess petroleum is part of it. But anyway, and glue. But anyway, this has been deliberately used on me and kept me on the run from one place to the other. It's how it's done, and I'm going to go ahead and say this here. I was in Grottoes, Virginia, pumping gas, and I still had the Larry Flint car that he furnished to me when I left there in '83 with a year lease. So I still had it, and it was sitting behind the house there, or by the side of the trailer I lived in that they let me live in. And I worked for them and pumped gas and worked in the store and cooked one meal a day. Now, I'm so tired. Um, this is what it does to me. After a long period of being exposed to it, chemicals, toxic. It affects. Well, it's getting to my memory now. Whatever is being used here, and that's what I wanted to say. I've forgotten, quite frankly, and this has just happened the last month that my memory's been gotten to with it. And I'm just going to back up. This has happened everywhere I've gone. Oh, I know what I was going to say about Reinecke's. Reinecke was a former, worked in the police, sheriff's department there in, what's the county? I can't remember now. It's Grottoes, Virginia. Harrisonburg's right up from there. I'm not sure what county right at the moment. Anyway, his family was in Stanton, Virginia. His family's in law enforcement. Now then, when I worked there, he pointed to a scanner up over that he kept, and he said they can track you anywhere you go. He pointed to my brain, and he said they wanted your brain. So you have to know, destroying my brain pretty much destroys anybody, especially if you're a leader of a country or anyone, okay? You need a brain to live. So I'm going to fast forward now to Roanoke, Virginia, when I lived on the Appalachian Trail. People do not like you telling the truth. You swear on the Bible, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. Oh my God, not when people in this community or Huntsville or Atlanta. I'm considered an interloper. I was kidnapped and brought over here. They're war crimes. It's who I am, and the horrors have subjected me and my children to, my mom and dad, and my country. They actually hate me like I committed the crime or something. How dare me inform them? And especially when you get into the mind control murders and programming and the Virginia Tech, the Fort Hood shooter, I could keep on going back in time. They never stopped. And now then, on Patterson Avenue is where the man that did the bombing in New York recently just come out of a coma. That's where his parents lived and where he lived for a while. So anyway, I wanted to get to this. It's been ongoing, making me run place to place, and I'm doing it with Fumes, and it makes me look bad. HUD has been used. I've had low income's all I can afford because they've made a pauper out of me. Done anything they wanted to me. So anyway, the HUD was the same way. They got to it. It's federal. There was 4 of them, by the way. And people don't want to hear it, even though they know it's true around here, and I lay out enough, usually, that they have to know. But I wanted to get to, on Mountain Pass Road, there was a gentleman there, and I'm not going to say their names. I won't. They live right next door, a home and the lot and everything next to the trail entrance there off Mountain Pass. And his father, this is years ago, I had no money or anything then, and I went to their home, and because I didn't like to bother anybody. And his wife said, well, come back tomorrow and we'll see if we can gather up some food for you and get someone to help. Well, when I went back the next day, the door was open, and I thought I pulled on it. He was standing there. He had it locked, screen locked. And he said to me, because there's a scanner, I'd seen it, it's right at the door as you go in up. And he said, they can, something about the police, they know where you are at every moment. They can follow you, and you can't come in here, and we can't help you. So now I want to get to, so this is how it's carried out. And if you try to tell it, someone can just say you're nuts. Until you can get an attorney, I can get an attorney to represent me, it would have to be that Great Britain's able to take me home or I die, quite simple, from it all. Because right now the inflammation is so bad in my kidneys, both kidneys and my lungs and the rest of my body, for God's sake. Over a period of time, the exposure and accumulation gets you. So now I just want to tell the last few months, because this is ongoing. It's done at a high level because of who I am and who my father is. I'm going back to Motel 6. Now, they had suddenly, a few years ago, about this time, and this is winter, okay, here in Roanoke, they had suddenly started remodeling. And I got deathly ill from that, and I had to move in winter. Now, then you could say this is a coincidence, but it gets into everywhere I go. It's done at such a high level, people can say, well, I don't believe that. Anybody can go back and check it out. So I'm going to skip to first of this year, January. I went back there because I'm bounced around. I've tried to leave Virginia, and I've had to come back. So now then I'm here again, and I'm leaving out some bad stuff that happened to me. All of it's been bad. But I went back there the last of June, so that meant I stayed 2 months at Motel 6 again. Believe me, they all know about my being allergic. It's been used. January, they suddenly started cement and glue right in front of the door, all around there, the motel. I was so sick, I had to leave. Now that I'm back there the last of June for 2 months, suddenly I'm up in there paving and all around right in front of the door. And I had to prop myself up, and I thought I'd never get out of there. This costs me money. I don't have taxis. And then people are so eager to somehow blame me in it when I try to tell it. So I go to a motel for a few days, and then I get my check. I come here. It's American Efficiency on Pollard in Vinton, Virginia, Roanoke, Vinton. And I come here. I just got my check. I'd stayed one more night there and got a cab. I'd called her because she knew. It wasn't that I trusted her, because there's another story about here and the Bartons. And, the Virginia State Trooper I liked, but one of the Bartons was one of them that helped take my deposit some years ago here in Vinton and run me off with fumes and chemicals. So anyway, this woman lives here in Vinton, and it's tight-knit, and she promised me, I told her, I said, I left out there, I was so sick. I stayed here 5 years ago, was the last time, and I never meant to come back. And she said, well, we haven't done any paving. And I said, are you going to do any remodeling or anything? Oh, no. She assured me not. I got the cab. I got over here. I didn't have anywhere to go anyway. I can't get on a bus to leave town anymore. So I came here in the cab. I'm paying him. And I looked in the room, and I thought, my God, it looks like they've paved here. I went ahead and looked at the room real quick and came in. And let the cab go. I went in and talked to her and the housekeeper, who knows all about this. And she assured me that they hadn't just paved. That was just some kind of coloring they'd put down, which was bull, that they weren't going to do anything else. So I paid for a month because it was cheaper. Or if I'd paid for a couple of weeks, I would have been out on the street again, okay, with no money. Paid for a month and a deposit. I got in here, and the next day I start getting sick. They are painting the doors. They are doing the carpets, and it's not Stanley Steamer. It's with horrifying stuff. Now, this is going on. I'm just going to say this. It's continued. Now then, they came yesterday, and they're going to put cement and covering over the steps right in front of my door. Okay, that's just going to kill me. I've seen that done before. And the cabinets in here were brand new. And I was getting fumes from those. It's got glue. I asked her if they'd remodel. Oh, no. Now then, what was the other thing they're going to do other than come in and do this? Come to find out, a gentleman told me yesterday, well, they just paved this about a little over a month ago. So she's totally lied to me. I can't get my money back. No law. Nobody touches this. I am so isolated. And I'm going to leave it at that. I intend to put this up when I leave, if I can leave.